2006, so I've lived here for 20 years. My current position is the team leader of the child abuse unit that we've been talking about. I have been the team leader of that unit for a long time now, and that is my current position, but I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my background and how I got there. So, like I said, I grew up in Virginia, went to James Madison University for undergrad. Then I went to UT for law school. I came there specifically for the prosecutorial externship program that they have at UT. At the time, it was ranked really, really high. I knew at the time that I definitely wanted to be a prosecutor. I have known since probably about 5th grade. I remember we did like a career day in 5th grade, and I was like, I'm going to be a prosecutor. I'm not sure really where that comes from. I have a lot of nurses and nuns in my family. That's what the women do in my family. My dad's a mining engineer. We don't have any lawyers in our family, but I've known for a really long time that I wanted to do law, and specifically that I wanted to do criminal law. So went to James Madison University, studied political science and public administration. I also had a minor in philosophy. Then I decided to go, again, like I said, to UT for law school. Was in law school, and then whenever I got out of law school, the first place that I worked was for the Sevier County District Attorney's Office, same place where Emily got her start. So Sevier County, like Emily was saying, is a little bit different from Knox County, and the reason it's different is because when you're in a smaller jurisdiction, right? So in Sevier County, it's actually Sevier, Cobb, Ranger, and Jefferson County. There were 7 attorneys in that group, and of those, there were only 4 of them that were assigned to Sevier County. So from the beginning, as a person right out of law school, and Emily can attest to this too, you're doing all kinds of cases from public administration the whole way up to, PIs, the whole way up to, I had a death penalty case, just like Emily did, a death penalty case where I had 3 co-defendants, and that was my 3rd year out of law school. So you kind of learn quickly. You make mistakes sometimes, you learn from your mistakes, but it's the learning curve whenever you're in a small jurisdiction is really, really important. General Allen at the time was the child abuse prosecutor in Knox County. And so, again, kind of by default, I did a lot of the domestic cases, I did a lot of the child abuse cases, that kind of stuff, and I knew very early into my legal career that being a child abuse prosecutor was something that I was really good at. The reason I was really good at being a prosecutor is because I have a lot of empathy and I can talk to little kids. Really good at that. I can make people feel comfortable. I can explain the process in a way that's digestible. And I think just like I can do that for kids, and I know it's not the same thing for an adult, but one of the things you have to do as a judge is you have to be able to make sure people feel comfortable. You have to be able to make sure that people understand the process and that you respect their questions that they have and things like that. And I think that that's something that will translate well for somebody going into the judicial position. So again, General Allen, she was in 2013 going to be becoming the DA in Knox County. And so I decided that I was going to transition from Sevier County over to Knox County and focus exclusively at that time on child abuse cases. So I went over to Knox County my 4th year that I was a lawyer and went right into the child abuse unit. So at that time, again, I had been used to having a lot of responsibility. A lot of the other people that started in Knox County started with DUIs and stuff like that, but I had some experience, and so I went into the child abuse unit. There were 3 of us at the time. We tried a lot of cases. I did that for about 4 years, and then I needed to take a little bit of a break. Child abuse is intense, and so at that point in time, I went into what's called the career gang unit. The career gang unit in Knox County is the unit that handles people that have a lot of prior criminal convictions, so they're career offenders, and then also you combine that with the gang unit in Knox County. So I was in the career and gang unit, and so there, unlike child abuse, we're dealing with intimidation of witnesses in a very different way. We're dealing with reluctant witnesses in a very, very different way. And so I did that for a couple years, and then General Allen asked me if I would be the team leader of the child abuse unit. So it was at that point in time that I went back into the child abuse unit and became the team leader of that unit. One of the things, obviously, that happens a lot in that unit is that there are new laws that are constantly passed that have to do with child abuse statute of limitations, different legal issues, different things that become admissible because of different laws that we have. And so for a long part of my career, I have been working on cases that involve new laws, difficult statute of limitations issues, heavy decisions, difficult decisions sometimes, and I think constantly when there is an issue in one of our cases or a potential issue in one of our cases, what is the judge going to do with this particular issue? How is the judge going to reason through this particular issue? And so I feel like I have for a long time focused a lot of my career on how do we get to where we need to be and what is the law requiring us to do in this case. I think that is something that would translate well into a position as a judge. I have been a prosecutor now for 16 years. I have tried probably a little over 100 cases to jury trials. I think that a judge needs to have trial experience. I think that a judge needs to have litigation experience, needs to be able to look at legal issues and be able to reason through those issues, and not just that, but needs to be able to do that quickly. And so that's why I think that my past experience and my trial experience is something that would be well served for me if I'm in that position. On a personal note, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background that's not legal related. Let me tell you first, I'm barred in Tennessee and in Virginia. I took the Virginia bar and the Tennessee bar both at the same time because at that time I didn't know where I was going to end up. But I've been now in Tennessee for the past 20 years, and this is obviously where I'm going to stay. I have 3 children. My children are at the track meet right now, running in that track meet. They're very fast. To brag on them, that both of my middle school kids can run a mile under 6 minutes, which I think is super impressive. I can't do that, but they're athletic little kids. My husband and I learned pretty early on that if we wanted to be our kids to be involved in stuff, that we needed to be involved in stuff. And so I am a troop leader of a Girl Scout troop, Troop 22123. It is 12th, 3rd, and 4th graders. It is whenever I need a break from the heaviness of work sometime, I just go and work on what am I going to do with my Girl Scout troop, and then we have fun, and it's very light and super entertaining, so that's my kind of respite from some of the heavy stuff that happens at work. I am on the membership standards committee for Boy Scouts, because we can't discriminate. I've got Girl Scouts, I've got Boy Scouts, so I've got involved in both. My kids go to Sacred Heart Cathedral School. I was on the school board as the president and the vice president of the school board for several years. I was the chair of the principal search committee. I was the chair of the vice principal search committee. We successfully found now both a principal and a vice principal at Sacred Heart Cathedral School, so we're very happy about that. I also am married and have been married for 16 years to my husband. And again, my proudest accomplishment, really, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, my proudest accomplishment is that I have 3 nice, kind, intelligent kids. So I thank you guys for listening to me, and I would appreciate your support.